Welcome back to the Loadout. Not that we really left. You were watching us the whole time, watching me at least. Presented by The Daily Dot. That's capital T, capital D, capital D. I am still your loyal host, Jared Wynn, bringing you more League of Legends discussion. What a dynamic debate we're going to have with my in-studio analysts here to my side, Keith, the Undefined Mitchell, and Stephen, Broken Water Main. Keith, Stephen, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm happy being something outside of possible definition. How about you, Stephen?
I'm kind of disappointed today, actually. I watched that Fnatic H2K game, and it was boring as hell.
What did you expect?
I don't know, Keith.
Expecting an H2K victory?
I hoped that there would be something other than a Fnatic Stomp Fest.
Well, let's open with that, actually. Let's get right into it. Get right in there. Just go fist deep into that discussion that we're going to have here. Fnatic, they did beat H2K. They're now 9-0, I believe. They're undefeated. Yep. They are halfway to glory. Halfway to glorious Nippon undefeated territory.
Whoa.
Yes, they're almost there. How great for them. H2K were their biggest roadblocks, it would seem, and H2K were flattened. They had no chance, no shot, nothing to say about Fnatic winning over them. My boy Olaf, as you mentioned, getting in there in the jungle. Always a good thing. Always a good thing to see. So Fnatic, unchallenged by H2K, ran over them. Does H2K have nothing to say about that? Or is Fnatic destined now for undefeated territory?
I mean, I feel like H2K were Baka Gaijins from the start. You know?
Right.
Can we not?
Like,
let's scale it back a little bit.
Okay, well, then I feel if we're going to talk seriously about this,
Please.
then we got to start with the fact that, if I can be honest, Lulex did not impress me on Rek'Sai, and he's not been impressing me on Rek'Sai, and I don't like him on Rek'Sai at all.
Oh, dear. That sounds unimpressive.
Yep. It was pretty damn unimpressive. It was kind of like watching the CLG TSM game where H2K just kind of really didn't do much, and then they just got slowly steamrolled by Fnatic.
It felt like they were scared to like make a lot of proactive plays.
Yeah,
and also ended up with them kind of.
It was like this really strange scenario where like both teams picked a poke comp, and then it pretty much comes down to who wins the first 5 minutes at that case, or like the first 10 minutes, and Fnatic got out to a little bit of an early lead, and Jace greater than Sign Varus, so I don't know.
Yeah, with HQ, you probably got to make a play somewhere against Fnatic to begin with. Never mind the actual compositions and the drafts, but they didn't really seem willing to do that. And if you're just going to play straight up against Fnatic, let the game play out, Fnatic's probably going to beat you because they're looking like the best team in the West, maybe the best team, one of the best teams in the world. They are one of the best teams in the world, I would say, pretty easily. So it's hard to just play straight up against Fnatic and expect to come out on top of that. And that didn't happen today.
It reminds me a lot of what I said on Monday, which was that if H2K doesn't put pressure on during the early game, if they don't try to overcome, like that's their weakness, is like during the laning phase, like if they don't try to like be proactive and like go out of their way to improve that point of their game, then they're going to have a hard time beating teams like Fnatic. And they didn't do anything proactive during the early game. And they weren't able to out-rotate Fnatic. Like I said, they wouldn't be able to because Fnatic's a really good team. And it just came down to Fnatic outlaned them, and then they were just stronger. So like H2K picked this composition that requires you to be better than the other team in the mid-game, and then they weren't better than the other team in the mid-game, so they just lost straight up. It's like, you have to wonder, when they picked their team, did they think that they could beat Fnatic in the laning phase? And if they did think that they could beat Fnatic in the laning phase, then why didn't they do anything? It's like, was it a failure to execute, or was it like bad planning? I don't know, but if they play again, they're going to have to do something this time to try to win.
Perhaps all of the above. If they play again, it'll be in a series, so I think that will...
Well, they'll play one more time this split, right?
And split, did they already play twice?
No, it's
Fnatic.
No,
they've only done
Fnatic,
it once.
Yeah,
so.
Fnatic 9-0. They beat every team once.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So we'll see them again. I think in a series is more time for H2K to kind of spread their wings and try different things.
Maybe.
I would hope so. I mean, they need to do something different, obviously.
I'll say it's a better chance than like a one-off, but I still don't like their look against Fnatic.
I wouldn't favor them. I would not favor them against Fnatic by any means. No. I think they could get a game, perhaps, by doing something different. I mean, they have skilled players. They're a good team. You know, they're a solid team. H2K is just... they're below the Fnatic level, which is...
It's interesting when we talk about Fnatic, though, being 9-0, because if you guys do recall, Fnatic, at one point, had also started a split, beating every single team once, going undefeated, and then inform all of our lovely viewers at home what happened, Jared.
Those were dark times.
It didn't work out so well, honestly.
Yeah. Then they lost to every team once in succession.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen again?
No.
Yeah, I definitely don't see that.
I don't
being a repeat.
think that Fnatic team had just like come within one game of beating the best Korean team in a best of 5 series. I think that's kind of a difference here.
Also, like,
feel a little more consistent.
Fnatic hasn't just beat every team in Europe; they have like stomped the shit out of them. Like,
yeah.
It hasn't even been close.
Yeah,
it's been ugly.
Talking to Richard, and like it speaks. He mentioned the same thing, that it would speak almost to the competitiveness of the European scene right now if Fnatic were to go undefeated, because they've been so unchallenged. It's like, can no one step up to this level of game? You would hope that at least a couple of teams would be competitive enough in the region to play with Fnatic, but right now it looks like no one can do that.
I mean, I was hyping up Origin because I thought they looked good enough to be able to like really go toe to toe with Fnatic, and they got dumpstered.
That didn't go so well. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they looked quite poor against the likes of Fnatic. Do you think Fnatic goes undefeated? That's the big question here.
I think they'll drop a random game to something. I don't think that it'll like change anything.
I think that they will go undefeated.
It's hard to see them losing an even random game at this point. They're just so head and shoulders above the rest of the region.
They're just one of the things we talk about, things like to rely upon. Like when we were talking about Dignitas, and we're like, one of the things that, you know, the reason why we don't think Dignitas necessarily will fold is because they have like good shot calling, and then I think that like one thing that you could sort of rely on is like if all of your players are just like mechanically better than all the players on the other team, it's going to be very hard, since they have good shot calling and they have like good game sense. Like the only way I could really see someone taking a game off of Fnatic is like if they were able to like steamroll them in the early game. Like they just managed to get a few like successful ganks off, like sneak through vision somehow, and like they get a 3,000-4,000 gold lead early on, and then they just like slowly snowball it into victory. But like I just don't see that happening against Fnatic.
I disagree, because physically they're better. Like physically, Fnatic should not lose
like
to another
like
team.
But
we're talking about
Yeah.
a lineup of 9 teams who all want to take down Fnatic very badly. We're talking about a team that may start to develop a little bit of cockiness and like, well, I mean, if you go 9-0 first win in the split, you've got to stop. You got to relent a little bit and say, okay, we're above the competition at that point, and that's dangerous.
They're the Buffett's team EU. So
they are the swollest team EU, and then you also have to deal with the fact that the other teams are probably going to come up with strategies to try and specifically pick off the first place that they know is going to stay first place.
For me, I could see them losing, but only if they have like a really shitty draft. Like if a
well,
team
that's the thing.
outdrafts them.
Well,
They have 9 chances to have a shitty draft. They have 9 chances to be outdrafted
Yeah.
by a team that's specifically trying to beat them,
Or-
and they have 9 games to develop enough
Or
cockiness.
if they get like level 1 or something.
Yeah,
Like
one
if some
one
team invades
cheese,
and, like,
one cheese could guarantee their loss.
If they go with like comfort picks and someone goes like all EDG against them and like they countered their lineup like very specifically, that could happen, you know, in a one game.
Here's the thing about Fnatic though, like particularly in Europe, because the region is starting to get like pretty clumped up. If I were in the like preparing, like if I played Fnatic 1 week, I would maybe consider just not even preparing for them and just like accepting that it's a defeat. Like I'm serious. If I were to play 2 teams in 1 week and one of them was a team that was close to me in the rankings and another team was Fnatic, I think I would spend all my time preparing for the game I thought I could win. I think a lot of European teams just don't even think that they can beat Fnatic.
Well, yeah, I mean, if
right
you're
now.
Unicorns, you know, 4 and 5, you're runners up from last split. You want to get back in the playoffs. If you have a big rematch against Fnatic and then you have a match against Origin, the Origin game is the one you want to practice for. You know,
exactly.
That's the game to go for.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
So we
But if
talked
you're
about,
Origin, you're playing against SK and Fnatic. Like, it can go both ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to look at the schedule, but I think we're talking about it like every team's gonna come in with their heart set on trying to beat Fnatic, but like I think a lot of teams are just gonna like pretty much sign off defeat. The way that the NALCS works is like you play, or the LCS, it's just that you play like 2 games every week, right? So it's like you always are gonna have more than one team to prepare for, and like just because of the nature of things, you're probably gonna prepare for one team more than you are gonna prepare for another team. So then it's like, I just think it's way more likely that they'll have one team like win one game and, you know, like focus all their time and effort on a game that isn't against Fnatic.
Speaking of Unicorns of Love and their 4 and 5 record, they are now below 500 in their win rate, halfway through the split. Kind of upsetting for me. I'm a fan of their style of play. Yep. I wanted to see them maintain at the split. I think they've had some difficulties kind of merging the more quote-unquote professional approach, the more quote-unquote consistent approach with their own style of play. Today we saw them go strictly off meta. They went with Shin, Syndra, Lee Sin as 3 of their 5.
Yeah, and I want to apologize to Unicorns of Love directly, because I was the one who was like, yeah, I want to see them go back to their crazy play. And they did. They went back to completely crazy, stupid like gameplay that they're known for, and it didn't work out for them. And I thought that'd be the magic bullet.
The problem for them was that Giants kind of countered it with their own silliness,
their own
if you
unicorn.
will.
The young Wukong.
Yes, they had Shyvana and Wukong in the lineup, which is it's hard to say how that composition matchup works for me. Like Shyvana Wukong versus Shin Syndra Lee. I'm not so sure what the win rate is on that particular composition battle.
I mean, theoretically, Giants would have the advantage because of Shyvana's armor shred.
Yeah, I mean, Shyvana was effective. Wukong was not particularly effective, at least like in the early to mid game. I don't really believe in Shin still. I know that he's been brought up multiple times now. And I think
picked him like 3 games in a row.
Yeah, I'm just not a big believer in the Shin play. Like I respect it. I thought Syndra actually was kind of interesting to have her around in the mid lane. I kind of like that actually.
Well, that's like Power of Evil's like comfort pick, right?
Yeah, I like the look of it actually.
Champion.
I thought it was Ari.
No, I mean,
switch comfort picks?
During like the promotion tournament, he played Syndra like.
Oh, that's right.
It's one of his champions. Like,
yeah, it's like
I think if you're comfortable,
it's in his pool,
if you're really comfortable with Syndra, like even if she's not a great meta pick right now, I think she's still got some abilities that help you. Like she can be part of a good team fight and she can have some good disengage. Just I like her as a champion. I like her kit. If you're really comfortable with her, you can use her very naturally.
Or you can just, if the game's not going your way, you can just like do a bunch of WEs because eventually one of them will bug out and then you just demand a remake.
Sure, yeah, that's what you should do anyway.
I mean, seriously, like if you're winning the game, then you'll just
be like, it's the perfect strategy.
It was a bug.
Yeah.
Like we need a remake. And
it's the perfect strategy.
If you're winning, then they say there was a bug. Do you want a remake? And you're like, nah, it's good.
It's that off meta that you have to establish.
Yeah. Actually, could you honestly could probably do that just because of how stupidly bugged Syndra
I think it would
now.
matter, you'd have to just have a lot of team fights or otherwise.
It was especially sad for me though because Giants, like, I'm now an anti-Giants fan. I really am. I can't help
really
myself.
Don't like them.
Because of what they did against Fnatic. Like, it was just the dumbest thing. Like, you're coming in, it's the biggest match of the week in the region, and you just you shit on it. That's what you do. You shit on the matchup. You shit on them. Giants, you shit on them. You shit on us.
I don't know.
That's what you did.
Shit
I'll always be down for my man Pepe.
I disagree now. So in unicorns, I feel the opposite.
Just fucking write it off.
Yeah.
Just don't even acknowledge it.
No, I disagree. In unicorns, I'm a big fan of them because
I disagree with him as a human
picks.
being.
So it's sad for me to see Giants triumph over unicorns. It's disappointing. It makes me want to feel like I want to cry in a corner somewhere. I won't yet. I may already have. You don't actually know. Keep that a secret between myself and I. So
well, now you've shared it with
let's
everyone.
talk briefly though about
check out the
champions
Twitch stream
and
later
play.
to say Jared cry.
Am I wrong to say that Shin is just they should stop? Just stop. Stop with the shinning.
I don't like Shen right now because top lane is supposed to be a proactive secondary carry. Like, in a way, top lane has almost supplanted AD carry as the secondary carry.
You're saying, Keith, that Shin's not a good carry?
I feel like Shen is not a good carry. I feel like he doesn't contribute a whole lot. Like, if this were a meta that were not based around top laners, I would agree with the Shen pick so much more because he has recently gotten a lot of love, indirectly and directly. And he's also gotten some pretty decent matchups with the current champions in meta, but he doesn't do anything. Like, it's like, okay, you did decently in lane. Maybe you saved a couple other people in lane. Maybe you got a good gank off even using an ultimate. But what happens now? Yeah. You have slightly above average objective control with your ultimate, but in a 5v5 team fight, you're not accomplishing as much as a Shyvana or any other top laner, really.
In this case, Shyvana being very relevant because Shyvana was there to accomplish more. As a matter of fact.
Shen's place is weird because he's like a split-pushing tank that doesn't do a whole lot of damage to turrets.
Yeah, and his problem is a lot of the strengths of split-pushing. So in order for Shen to be effective, one, your team has to be ahead because you have to be able to split-push. It's really hard to split-push when you're behind because you can't get vision control. You can't really, push lanes when you're, in your own jungle all the time.
That's a
when
problem.
You're on your half of the map.
That is a problem.
So then that makes split-pushing hard. So, already... if your team's behind, you're going to have a hard time carrying from the top lane from Shen already because his strength is split pushing, but the other team will just go send their 5 people there and you'll never know what's coming.
Right. And then if you are ahead,
and
there are way better split pushers than Shen.
Well, exactly. And it's he has a hard time even when he's ahead asserting pressure on a lot of the more dominant top laners right now. I think he does okay against Rumble. Maybe that matchup is alright, but against Vladimir, he gets fucked. Against Maokai, he gets dumpstered. Against Hecarim, he also loses. He loses all these 1v1 matchups against the normal top laners.
I mean, I feel like he does okay against Rumble.
Yeah, that's what I said.
he said
Rumble
it was
is
okay.
like the one,
yeah, yeah.
the one that I
That's
think.
the one he gave him.
Okay,
does
I thought
okay.
you said that he lost to Rumble.
No. Rumble is like the one that he does okay, and also Rumble doesn't have any way of interrupting his TP, so that's good. But like Hecarim can interrupt TP, and Maokai can also interrupt TP. So like right now, maybe if you last pick Shin, then like into Rumble, or like if you counter pick Rumble with Shin, but like Shyvana is gonna dumpster Shin in a 1v1 situation. So is Maokai. So is Vladimir. All of these like meta top laners.
It's too bad because I like actually some of the parts of the comp for unicorns. Again, I like the Syndra pick if you're very comfortable with her. I like the Lee Sin pick if you're very comfortable with him. Like you got some decent bouncing around champions. We saw actually some really good disengage because like what are you going to do if you just get bounced hard by those two champions? Like they have great ability to do that, and they can also engage in different ways because of that. So I like the Syndra and Lee Sin look. Again, if you're comfortable with their mechanics, and obviously these guys are. I just don't like the combination with Shin. I think you need like a more of a carry tank to
also,
go
Shin
with him.
is not even like Unicorn of Love style. Like it's off meta, but it's not
I could see
in
it
your
as a
face. It doesn't put pressure. Like
it's not Syndra or Lee Sin.
Yeah,
I could see it as a
exactly.
counter pick to like a really aggressive mid lane or a mid game like composition where like they would aggressively roam and try to get kills because Shen could potentially mitigate that. But at the same time, I don't feel like Giants were essentially going to do that. Maybe they were afraid of the Wukong pick. Maybe they wanted to like try and I don't even remember. Was Shen picked up before Wukong?
I can't remember actually. Speaking of the unicorn, or speaking of the Giants picks, Shyvana has gotten some love, as you mentioned that Shin got some love. Shyvana certainly has, and that I think more favors her than it does Shin right now. Is she going to be like? Does she have a place as more of a mainstay in the current meta? I think she could be picked up more often than she is actually.
I liked Shyvana actually when like the Smite TP was very strong because she got a lot from that. She could counter jungle really well, and also the jungle item, the whatever skirmisher or whatever it was, like did a lot for her because she gets double on hit effects with her Q and and I think that's when she was in her strongest, and then we didn't even see her play then. So it's an interesting situation. It's gonna come down to like laning matchups with who's really popular right now. I don't think she does particularly well against like Rumble. I think she does okay against Vlad.
I think she gets destroyed by Hecarim, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like from what I've seen of it,
yeah.
like the problem with Shyvana isn't that like I think she's underrated, and I think that a lot of people write her off as a non-champion when she's definitely not. But I also feel like she has matchup syndrome, where against the top people, like against the average top laner, she does very well. But when you're talking about the current best top laners, they almost nullify her in lane. So
Well, I'll tell you, she's pretty good against Shen.
She's pretty good against Shen. We saw that.
Well, the problem is not. It's like there's so many fucking good top laners right now. Like you don't need another good top lane pick. Like Vlad is really good. Vlad can be flex picked in the mid, so that's an advantage. Like
she's more than mediocre
good.
in a world of godlike.
Good. Yeah, Rumble's good, and like we've seen Riven as a counter pick to
I
Rumble.
guess you could flex Shyvana jungle maybe if you needed to.
But if you wanted to flex jungle, even there,
even jungle is like fucking OP right now. Like
it's pretty good.
Gragas, Sejuani, Rek'Sai, like
I would honestly rather flex a possible Sejuani top, which is like, I don't know. I feel I would be more confident in that.
Kind of wasting her ult a little bit. I'm not so.
I'm more confident in that than I am in Shyvana jungle flex pick.
I'm not so sold on the flex.
Because Shyvana's really easily counterpicked, and when she's counterpicked, she loses really hard.
I just think, honestly, I'm ready to see some new fucking jungle picks and some new top lane picks. I'm tired of these same champions.
Well, I mean, ever since Riot redid the jungle, it's basically like you have to be a jungler. There's not a whole lot of like half-assing it, but they've been easing up on it with patches. So like. Diversity's coming back.
They want the AP jungle now. They want the AP jungle in there, right?
That's right. They're bringing it in.
Yeah.
Well, they need mana regen for.
We're gonna see some great AP.
Maybe your boy Shen Jungle will show up. You know, you never know.
I mean, I would like to see some like a Mumu or like I guess we saw Echo and.
You will never.
Top lane.
A Mumu is like never gonna happen.
The problem with
again.
the Mumu is like he's never.
Sad.
He's so gankable. He's so like vulnerable
he's
in early game.
Gankable in the jungle.
If you take blue away from him, like he's ruined.
I mean,
forever.
that was the problem with like Sejuani for a long time too, is that she couldn't scrap in the early game, right? So
one more champion from this game, Wukong. You mentioned him a couple times. I'm not sold on the Wukong pick personally. At least not in this comp. I think he has some synergy with some champions. I like him with like a Yasuo, for example. I don't think we're going to see Tip play Wukong.
Yasuo.
Yeah. So what do you think about Wukong being brought up by Giants? He didn't do too well in the early mid game here. It's like a 0-3-2 start, I think it was. Wukong.
I like the concept because what that was saying was essentially that like they're going to put, kind of have a more aggressive jungler with a lot of roam. But Wukong isn't really bound to the early game in the way that Lee Sin is. If he ends up with like 0-0-0 at 20 minutes, he doesn't lose the game in the same way that Lee does.
Well, I think it's like a completely different problem. It's like Wukong has trouble in the early game because he doesn't have any CC before 6, so it's hard for him to like convert ganks into kills.
Like a dash into like an armor like shred Q into a good auto attack is pretty decent for a gank, and it can blow a flash if not get a kill.
And also we're seeing like a new sort of change in the supports. A lot of the supports like bring a lot of their own crowd control now, and they can like scrap. So what comes to mind is like Nautilus and Alistar, and also even Bard to some extent.
I mean, in that game,
they're like all champions that can like set up their own CC, so then you're able to like bring damage from the jungle instead of bring crowd control. And also like Chilling Smite allows him to like sort of close the gap between where he, that gap from before it was like 1 to 6, he couldn't gank at all, and now it's like 1 to his first back. So like I definitely understand Wukong and like the new position.
I like its theory in the game, but in practice I feel like it fell a little bit short.
What does he have that Gragas or Sejuani or Rek'Sai doesn't?
Yeah.
Like Rek'Sai has Wukong knock up on his basic abilities.
It's one of those picks that really works well in paper, and then like when you think about it a little more, it just becomes like it's the same situation as top, where it's like, yeah, he's more than. It's the same with Shyvana, where it's like, yeah, he's more than mediocre. I think people sleep on him as a jungler, and a lot of people say like, I don't see why you would ever pick him.
But he's not better than.
He's like
the top.
There's no reason to pick him when you have these like picks that just win games.
But he can be on fire.
He can be on fire, it's true.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to pay money, you can have armor too.
And did you know he's based on Goku? That's true. Not Chinese mythology. He's based on Goku.
Maybe Giants just really enjoy Dragon Ball.
Yeah, they might. That's true fact. Look it up. Wikipedia that.
Does that mean like when you pick a Wukong, you should buy lots of Kindle Gems?
No, it doesn't mean that at all. That's wrong. CLG has a big week coming up. CLG does.
Yes, they do.
I'm not sure if you're aware, actually, Steven. Countology Gaming.
Who's that?
They're playing Team Liquid and this other team. Who is it? Was it TDK?
Team Duo bottom lane?
Team Dragon Knight?
I think it's a team.
There's a T in there somewhere, but I don't.
Team Bjergsen.
Team Triple Jungle.
They're playing TB in the second game.
TL and TB.
Big weekend for CLG as they try to solidify their place at the top, which I'm sure they'll have no trouble doing. Once they get to the top, they tend to stay there, right?
Yeah, probably going to go OT this week.
Well known for their consistency.
Yeah.
This is about the time where they crash and burn and crumble, so...
It's a good opportunity for that, actually.
0-2, yep.
It's a good opportunity. Liquid and TSM, strong teams. Although Liquid struggled as of late. They've kind of come back to earth. We hyped up Quas so much, and Piglet's been playing well. We talked about Xpecial as a really fine support in the bottom line there, so I don't know. Like, where's Team Liquid going wrong? They're almost 500 now, and their winning rate.
Well, Team Liquid hasn't beat a team that is at the top of the standings yet. They've beaten the bottom, 6 teams, and they've lost to the top 3.
So have we just, overqualified them based on the results against teams like Team 8 and Dragon Knights and looked at, Quas making these giant, 4-man ults every week and saying, he's great.
I don't think so, but I think that they need a little more experience playing against the top teams right now.
I feel like there's a little bit of truth in that you see Quas pull off 4-man Gnar ultimates again and again, and you're like, oh my god, here's this amazing top laner. But it's true that he's not playing against... You're not playing against TSM, you're not playing against CLG. At the same time, though, there is a difference in the play.
I mean, they played well against TSM,
Yeah,
this was not... That game was extremely close, and, Bjergsen did his Bjergsen thing, and then TSM won.
It's not a matter of...
They're one good, better Quas Rumble ult away from winning that game.
It feels like Team Liquid isn't necessarily slipping or bad, it's just that they're not outrageously good yet.
Well,
they're consistent.
They
though.
need to be more
I haven't
clutch.
seen them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them underperform or be like, what are they doing? Except a couple of really weird points in time. But for the most part, they really seem to have their stuff in place. It's just that they don't have the X factor of here's some crazy outplay that can win us the game.
I feel like they've gotten a little more hype than their 5-3 record suggests. There's 3 teams above them. They're tied with Gravity Gaming. So I don't really see them as being the team they've been cracked up to be. I think this is a great weekend for them, though. If they can beat CLG, that's a good way to get back onto that.
I mean, this is kind of where I expected Team Liquid to be at the beginning of this, but sort of they're going to beat the teams that are obviously worse than them, and they probably are going to struggle beating teams that are
though. If Piglet's playing well, and we agree that Xpecial is a great support in the bottom lane, and Quas is looking like a great top laner, what is Team Liquid lacking that's preventing them from taking the next step forward?
Quas makes weird mistakes at weird points in time.
It's not really weird at all the times he makes it. They're just not clutch. I mean, they just are having trouble pulling out the good plays when they need them.
Piglet's a good AD carry, and like no one can dispute that. Like, oh yeah, whatever. He won Worlds once. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, he is like a really good AD carry, and X Special is a really good support. But they're not like at the point where their synergy lets them be the best. They don't have like. Yeah. They don't have experience or like even necessarily language communication to be able to be like, oh my god.
And also, none of them have ever been like the superstar player, right?
Yeah,
like Piglet was at best number 2 on SKT when he was winning Worlds, and it's like Quas has never really been. I mean
even Quas took backseats to like I will dominate and Void Boy.
Yeah, I mean, and now Piglet or Last Split, you know, the main focus has never been on Quas. Right, and this is sort of his first time being like the main guy in the spotlight, and I think he's struggling to perform under pressure.
Are Dominate and Phoenix up to par?
I think so. I think Phoenix is lagging a little bit behind in my mind, but not enough to where it's like a big deal. He just needs to be a little bit more, I think he needs to be a little bit more like greedy in lane. He needs to try and do more stuff.
He needs to make better gains.
Yeah, he's a gains goblin right now.
Yeah, I think he needs to be a little more pressure as well. I think he needs to put his hand in the other lanes more and like try to have a little more aggression.
Speaking of more pressure, is Dominate contributing as much as he should be to the team?
I think Dominate's been playing well, yeah.
Yeah, Dominate's been. I'm not too much of a fan of Curse, but I've always liked I Will Dominate, and I think that he's been playing on point recently.
I think he's been. We saw him play Echo. I think. You know, I thought he looked pretty good.
I mean,
on
balanced.
Yep. I thought he looked a lot better on Echo than Zion Spartan.
Yeah, that's the bar though. Zion Spartan.
Yeah, Zion Spartan is not the bar. Zion Spartan is not the median.
I'm just saying he makes Echo look as broken as Echo is, whereas Zion Spartan makes him look balanced.
He makes him look broken.
That's what I said. No. That's what I said about Azir. I'm like Bjergsen makes Azir look broken as hell. And Incarnation makes Azir look balanced.
He makes him look like a bad support. That's what he made him look like, actually. That's what he looked like. He looked like a bad Nautilus or something like that. So, CLG TSM.
Elimination?
Basically, it made him look like his teammate. CLG TSM, the second matchup for CLG this weekend. Yep. The rivalry renewed once again, not that it ever went away. It's a big one. CLG TSM, what's the crucial matchup there for both of you to decide this game?
I'm going to put it on bot lane. Mid lane is going to be exciting, but I don't think Phoenix can. The way Phoenix plays is he seems very satisfied to like take an even lane with somebody and then leave. He doesn't make a whole lot of like.
Well, this may not be the week for him to turn up the pressure.
Well, yeah, it's true that against Bjergsen it may not be the best idea to go nuts, but it could.
What were we talking about?
Phoenix.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Phoenix. We're still with the.
We're talking about.
Oh my God, CLG.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought Team Liquid were playing TSM. I
was like, what?
No, it's my bad.
You got it. That's very close though.
I was like, how is Phoenix gonna put the pressure on Bjergsen?
I don't.
He's gonna like bang his like fucking dressing room down and be like.
Phoenix is gonna play so well against CLG.
It'll put Bjergsen on tilt.
He's gonna feel pressured by how well Phoenix plays.
It'll put Bjergsen on tilt remotely.
Yeah. And then, how can I play that well against CLG when Phoenix just fucking trashed them and garbaged them?
I don't think Pobelter can like necessarily.
Pobelter Bjergsen is the mid lane matchup.
I think that mid lane will be the matchup then because Pobelter is the guy who's gonna like flash forward ultimate someone no matter what champion he's playing. That's become like part of his signature move.
I would love to see Pobelter flash forward ultimate Bjergsen. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing. I think Doublelift and Afremu are going to be so insanely aggressive if they get to 2v2 this week because just from watching interviews and like being a CLG fan, I've never felt like Doublelift has respected Wild Turtle. I never feel like Doublelift thought that Wild Turtle was that good of a player. I know he's probably jealous because Wild Turtle had like 6 accounts in Challenger one time and everyone thought Wild Turtle was
Wild
so
Turtle's
bad.
Also like since he's in like danger right now of like potentially
exactly.
losing his position.
I think Doublelift smells blood in the water and he wants to inish that man's whole career.
Maybe it's just his finger. He smells.
Oh yeah, maybe.
He's been sniffing his finger a lot.
His own blood. No, but I think
he's not a carry though.
I think Doublelift wants to send Turtle to the bench.
It is a fun matchup because Doublelift certainly has the gravitas to go after someone like that, and Wild Turtle's going to be playing for his career. Like, literally, he's playing for his spot in TSM. Yep. So, like, playing against the mechanical treasure like Doublelift is a good opportunity to show how good you are, or good you might be after your team says you're bad, more or less.
Let's all be real, though. CLG's not going to win because, like, TSM's been their kryptonite since forever.
Plus the Afromoon Let's Boy matchup. Two best supports.
That's true.
in A.
Yep. I'm going to be watching the bottom lane. I think it's going to be good fun.
It's a good lane to watch.
Bottom lane.
Yeah.
I watched that.
It's a good, solid lane. I appreciate that lane. You're not going to watch the Zion Spartan Dyrus. That's a fun match. That's a kind of funny matchup, actually. I want to see Zion Spartan play Echo into Dyrus's Maokai, like the passive Maokai, and just like have just the shittiest dives by Zion Spartan and Dyrus.
Zion Spartan dives, takes like 40% of his health in tower shots, does 40% of his like Maokai's health, and then just ults out.
Hey, that sounds like a CLG last week.
Yeah, it sounds like a great matchup.
Xmithy died like twice to towers last game, diving top lane.
Towers are pretty tough, yo.
It wasn't pretty.
Towers
No, it wasn't. Xmithy didn't die the first time. He should have tanked an extra turret shot, and he didn't. Then Zion died, and then the second time he took one too many turret shots.
He felt bad.
Yeah, he needed to even it out.
Yeah, he thought that's how that worked.
That jungle guilt.
Karmic balance.
He felt bad. He was crying over the previous loss.
So they had 2 top lane dives, and they managed to go 1 for 1 each time.
This whole game has fun matchups. The bottom lane is enticing, obviously. The pull out there going ham on Bjergsen or trying to is fun. And the Zion Spartan Dyrus is kind of fun in its own special way.
I think the jungle matchup's kind of boring, though.
It is. It's very boring. That's why I didn't mention it. You notice that.
Is pretty boring.
Depends on what I will dominate picks, though. Because if he goes for, like...
Smithy. We're not talking about Team Liquid, dude.
I'm fixated on Team Liquid because they're my favorite team right now.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Well, they're not playing in this game.
I know.
Yeah, it's a two-team game. Only 2 teams are allowed to play. 2 teams enter, 1 team leaves. Yep. 1 team does not enter. That's Team Liquid.
What if they like just three teams at once?
They won't.
3
so
Nexuses?
we shouldn't tempt Keith with that possibility, or he'll keep.
I'm still waiting for Magma.
Are you gonna start talking about Team Impact?
Magma Chamber.
Team Impact? No, not yet. That's for later, actually. So yeah, the Xmithy.
Santorin.
Now it's hard for me to remember. Xmithy Santorin, not exactly a super exciting or enticing or otherwise interesting jungle matchup.
Sounds like a blast.
Santorin will farm.
I mean, at least Xmithy like does things. Like he goes across maps and makes ganks.
At least Xmithy tries to do things.
Yeah.
How do you feel about farming from the jungle? Is that your favorite thing?
It's like top 0 favorite things.
Wow. I love farming as a jungler.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun.
I noticed.
Yeah, it's a good time. Well, as Olaf, you can't really do much besides that, you know.
That's why the 200,000 people tune in, so they can watch
that mindset.
You farm from 1 to 18 and you're good to go, I think. That's pretty much the preferred.
That's why people watch the LCS, is they just want to see PvE.
That's why I watch TSM. I want to see Santorin just like get those grumps.
Play as Rek'Sai and kill the Razor beasts.
He's good at that. Yeah, he'll like get those farm.
Maybe find a ward.
You know, just
get
do
that
it, man.
farm
Get all that farm done. Get swole on farm, as Santorin does. So that's the matchup. CLG TSM. Super exciting, unless you're a jungler. Then kind of boring, actually. Team Impulse. They are even.
Impulse.
Team Impulse. They're 4-4.
Try to remember.
Steven's pick for the North American League Championship Series champions. They are 4-4.
Every week. It never gets not funny.
It never gets better, does it? They are, well, Keith, please.
It's better than C9 every week.
Please. They are double the strength of C9, even at 4-4.
I was talking about your joke, not about the team's status. But
it can't get better because it's already the best. It can't get better. It will never get better. It can't get better.
That was quite a comeback.
It was. That's what I do. So Team Impulse, they've got Gravity Gaming. This is a big matchup for me. Gravity Gaming, 5-3, kind of, I wouldn't say a shock at 5-3, but a surprise. They're not really on anyone's radar. Gravity isn't. They're just kind of there. You know, Keen is a name. He gets banned out a lot. That's fun, I guess. I feel like you've seen people get banned out a lot. Playing Team Impulse, who have disappointed, I would say, pretty firmly. Zhao has been not so Zhao.
I would say Gravity has impressed the same amount that Impulse has unimpressed.
That's pretty fair.
Would that be moderate or slightly?
It's like moderate.
Rush has gone from the best jungler in the world hype to being, you know, like pretty much a 4-4 team jungler
in North America hype.
He's super aggressive, but you know, that's good.
Like when we talk about like Team Impulse in general, like Russia's the last person on the team I want to talk about because it just feels like.
I mean, he's the most fun to watch though because
he's fun to watch, but we talk about results here.
You know, it's fun to see him do his thing. So I guess like the Gravity Team Impulse matchup, is it one you still kind of feel like you have to favor tip in because they just have the better talent it seems, or is it a Gravity matchup?
I think at this point you have to think that Gravity is the better team than Team Impulse. And I think it's because before with Gravity, they didn't really have All-Tech. Not only did they not really have All-Tech, but they didn't at all have All-Tech. And All-Tech has turned out to be like really the dandy of this North American split. I think if you look at people who are like potentially most valuable player, you have Quas. Quas has been playing well, but Team Liquid's kind of been going down the split. I think Bjergsen is obviously the first choice, right? You think most valuable player. I definitely think it's Bjergsen right now. But if you look at the next sort of tier, other people who are in the talks for it, I think Alltech is absolutely right there. He's shown that he can scrap with the best in the league. You know, CLG, I remember they had trouble with Alltech, and you think of Doublelift as being one of the top laners in North America, and I think that he has just really been the huge difference for Gravity. It's like before they didn't have him, they had Maple Street, and it just wasn't that exciting, and they've replaced him with Alltech, and then you guys are looking at me because Maple Street was never on Gravity.
Yeah. Well.
Sorry. Maple Street is just like generic, like
I make
80
like
carry.
I make like 5 times the mistakes. So
Maple
no
Street is like
judgment.
it's like the colloquial term for a below average ADC.
Yeah, exactly.
With, you know,
Yeah.
it's like when you say Maple Street, it's like you're Maple Streeting. Okay, you're kind of playing subpar ADC.
Yep.
You know, that's what you say. So that makes sense to me. I get it.
No, they had
I thought
Cop.
that was
I'm
candy
sorry.
pending.
They had
Yeah.
Cop.
They had Cop. That was true. Yeah.
And Cop, similarly, like he
got a
was
fun
fine,
name.
but like he's just not ever been that amazing.
I like his
and
name.
Alltech has like stepped in and shown like that he could be an ALCS superstar.
It's a good name, Cop.
Yep.
Kind of gets to the point, you know. So yeah, I like Alltech a lot as well in the bottom lane for Gravity. Perhaps the bigger matchup for Team Impulse this week. They have Cloud9. Your favorites, you guys. This is it.
Wow.
The big matchup, the Super Classico, the Stephen and Keith picks for the LCS split.
Oh my god, it's so exciting.
Does
Yeah.
Cloud9 play before that?
I'm not sure actually. No, I am sure. They get a free win actually. Yeah, they get a bye.
Oh, that's right.
Their Saturday is a bye
right.
game,
They
so
play
they get the
team. Our owner just got suspended from LCS.
It's the TDK, the minority owner. Yes.
Team banned for 1 year.
The TDK automatic.
I was
win
really
slot.
hoping that they would just get straight up kicked out of the LCS for that.
I would hope they get straight kicked out of the LCS for being terrible. That doesn't work that way apparently. So we have C9
What a
coming
joke.
in with
What
a
a
record of
fucking joke.
a record of
TDK
3 and
is.
9.
Whoa.
Or we can assume a record of 3 and 6 for Cloud9.
They have
you know.
feelings too.
They're 2 and 6 now, but we'll assume 3 and 6 against Team Impulse, who are going to be 5 and 4, or I think really fun 4 and 5. I would love to see a 4 and 5 Impulse against a 3 and 6 Cloud9.
That will not be the case.
The battle of the teams trying desperately not to disappoint themselves, their organization, their fans, everyone in the world basically. So Team Impulse, again, the battle of disappointing teams, the juggernauts going at it. Any chance for Cloud9 to turn things around here? And if so, where can they find weakness in Team Impulse? What can they take advantage of?
I'd put the over-under about 85% to Team Impulse.
Really?
Yeah.
Strong.
I wouldn't at all, actually.
Strong take.
Here's
think
the
it's-
reason why.
yeah,
Here's the
I would
reason
like
why.
to.
What's the
is
reason
because
What is the reason?
Cloud9's early game has been disgustingly poor, and
Yes, it has.
That is
Team
true.
Impulse wins or loses on the early game. Team Impulse either they play a decent early game and they win, or they lose because the other team has a better early game and they lose the game because they can't catch up. And C9 can't compete. It doesn't matter like how strong the team is as a whole if they never get a chance to play. And Team Impulse, if they get an advantage in the early game, do not give Cloud9 the chance to play.
You do make a good argument there. I can see where you're coming from.
I think Cloud9 will win.
Wow. No faith. Faith no more.
Nope. I think Cloud9's actually looked a lot better.
I like how we
recently.
both betrayed
Yep.
We
our
did.
picks.
You did.
Well, I
Betrayal.
think that shows how little faith we have and how
Oh,
disappointed
man.
we are.
I
with
think you're
our
both just very
respective
disappointed.
teams.
That's the
It's
thing
just
going
like-
on.
I'm in my grieving phase.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in the third phase. I'm in anger right now. I'm
No, but
lashing out.
I think C9 actually had a good showing against CLG last week. I think CLG didn't
That's true.
really
They
have
did
a
look
good
nice.
showing against anyone last week, though, so it's hard to say. C9 didn't look much better than TDK did against CLG, so...
It's a good comparison to make when you're getting compared to TDK.
Oh, gross.
I like that.
Anyways, no, but I think CLG didn't play well against C9, but I still think that C9 like managed to make some plays. I think we finally saw like Incarnation actually do something. Like one time, I think I saw him do something, which is like a vast improvement over the rest of the games.
Yeah.
where he
But
just
it's better
does
than
nothing.
just like peeling a top lane or peeling a support off of himself.
I would
basically.
really like to see him on someone not Azir though.
That'd be great.
I'm just tired of seeing him playing Azir because
Azir
it
and
just
Kog'Maw.
it's just.
I thought part of the
Well, he hasn't played
I thought
Kog'Maw
part of the
since
allure
forever.
when they brought him in was that he had a deep champion pool because he had to for.
Maybe it's just coincidence.
I think every team is just leaving up Azir because they're just like, we've seen you play.
Why
By
not?
all means, go ahead, take him. You know,
It's very-
Let's
If
see what you got.
if that's the best you have to offer, well,
Yep.
It's like you're counter picking them by allowing them to pick Azir.
Yep. That's like why C9 should start banning Nautilus because.
Or just start banning Azir so Incarnation can't pick him.
Yeah, just, that should be C9's bans. Nautilus, Azir.
Ban out
when you
your
have to
own
ban
teams.
yourself for your best possible play.
Yeah, ban out your own players to better your own chances to win. Plus, I mean,
It's
I gotta
genius.
say, I was a defender of Meteos like deep into the split. I mean, I guess we're only halfway, we're less than halfway in the North
You're
American
not very
split,
deep yet,
so we can't
but-
be that deep. But I was a defender for a few weeks. His play has not been Meteos-y for me. I mean, I considered him like a top tier jungler coming out into the split, and I mean, I think last split he really helped carry Cloud9 up to their success they did have with the struggles they had.
Yep.
I have not been impressed. I don't know if it's just a function of the team playing differently or his shot calling duties are kind of dragging down his ability to roam effectively, but he has not played up to his standard that he's established thus far.
I think part of the problem is that he doesn't have high to shot call anymore. And then the biggest part for me is just like morale. Like after those first couple of games where you realize you're falling from the status of like top 2 team in NA automatically every split, saying otherwise is heresy, to fighting to not be relegated. I mean, like, it's not an easy thing to be like, all right, I'm going to play my best and win, like, every game,
That sounds kind
every
of like
week.
Meteos, actually. That was sneaky. That was kind of a good sneaky impression. They
Yeah,
sound,
and then,
they sound
like-
the same, though, don't they? Like, Meteos is like an older brother. They look the same, too. Wow.
Wow.
They're like twins.
Deep thoughts on the loadout.
Sneaky as Meteos is like less buff, more nerdy.
And they
than
talk
their
the
brother.
same way, too. They use the same memes and jokes and stuff like that. They have the same hairstyle and the glasses and then going on. It's like a...
Maybe, like, if you spend enough time on C9, you just kind of blend into, like, a C9 individual.
But Elimination's losing his hair, whereas Meteos and Sneaky grow his. I guess that means he's like on his way out, right? That's the sign.
Maybe they, like, leech
Well, I
his-
think there's been a lot of signs that he's on his way out.
Yeah, you mean like
personally.
playing poorly, for
Hey,
example?
we're 1 week away from high replacing elimination.
Are
in
we?
Sport. Yep.
Oh yeah, that
That's
was
at
your big
week
prediction.
6, right? It's
I'm
week
like
5.
4 for 4 in my predictions so far. So I mean, you got to get one sometime. Like I had Wild Turtle getting in trouble, and I had other stuff happening. I don't remember exactly. Cloud9, I had Cloud9 being so shitty this.
Oh
at
yeah,
this
you
point.
said they were gonna miss the playoffs.
I said they're gonna miss
I think
the playoffs.
the winner of Cloud9 Impulse gets the 6th seed in the playoffs. I think Enemy
Gets
has
the 6th seed in the playoffs or the 6th seed?
the 6th
Seed.
seed.
Okay, they will not
seed.
succeed necessarily, but they will get the 6th seed.
The
I think that's
6th seed.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
in
a
the
fair
playoffs.
bet to make. Like, now that we're halfway through the split, it's kind of...
Enemy
There's not
has-
going to be, like, a
Enemy has
complete
not looked
turnaround.
Very good.
I still like
Most
Enemy.
recent.
Actually.
I like Enemy, but I don't think I like Enemy over Impulse. I do think I like Enemy over Cloud9 if Cloud9 doesn't turn themselves around.
This is really like far flung, but I like Enemy as like a next split team.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. I think they have a lot like
I mean, they just came in and they like already kind of basically proved that they have a right to be here.
Import a good like free agent talent over the offseason, spend a couple months integrating them, and come back with more experience. And I think they have a good bottom lane. I like them a lot. Actually.
Considering that none of them have
Flares
any
is, like,
LCS experience. like-
dominant top laner.
Flares and Otter, I think, are both really strong players to build around. I like the team a lot, actually.
They remind me of Team Liquid like a split and a half ago.
Yeah, considering they're like 3 and 5, I like them a lot. Within that context, you know, I don't like them to like make a playoff run or anything this split. Although I think they could come on strong the second half of the split if they kind of get their shit together. They've
Yeah.
shown inexperience.
I feel like if it was between C9 and Enemy for the playoffs, I feel like Enemy could probably clutch it out. But I don't feel
I still think
against
C9
Impulse. I think Impulse could
I
probably
would take
beat them.
C9 over Enemy, honestly. I would.
I
at
think
this point.
C9 is gonna make the playoffs. I really do.
See, this is my hate goggles speaking. Like, I don't
It's
really
just-
have like deep analysis
It's
to
just
support this
my
one. It's
feeling is
just,
like I watch Enemy play and I like their play individually, like what they do, but then they get into too many team fights where they just like whiff every skill shot.
Yeah.
And that says to me nerves and inexperience. You know, like that happens more with Enemy, I feel, than any other
That says
team
to
in
me
the
their
LCS.
mouse is too far over on one side of the screen.
It's just it could be, but it's a consistent problem for them.
And they've had good showings against against TSM, for example. We saw
Yeah.
Flares like put the Dyrus in the dumpster, and you know they had a very close game against Impulse that they could have won. I mean, they very easily could be in the same position like
Of course,
Gravity's
that
in
was the
for-
game, the Impulse game, where they missed like 20 skill
Yeah,
shots.
Exactly, but I mean they've shown good games against everyone in the league.
And they have a lot of close calls. They have a lot of like things that were decided just barely, and like, oh, they're making a run
Which
for.
again speaks to missed skill shots. My
Yeah,
favorite
well.
so far is still like a body drop, like going in to dive like the mid lane, and then as Thresh and just turning around and queuing in the wrong direction, like just complete opposite of what you should be looking to. Yeah, just
bunny foo-foo.
Unfortunate, very unfortunate. Don't throw your skill shots in the wrong direction. As a general tip from the loadout to you to improve your League of Legends
increase
play.
your win rate significantly.
Yes, increase your win rate. Don't your tier 2 power spike comes from not skill shotting in the wrong direction.
Well, and Riot's changing skill shots, right? We're entering the new era of skill shotting.
Wow.
Wow.
That's deep.
Things are going to change.
Sounds exciting.
I wanted to discuss, well, I guess we can talk about it later, but...
What's that?
Well, I just wanted to sort of talk about, like, you know, Riot in general. We saw some ban hammers come down this week.
We did. We talked about that before you guys came in with Richard Lewis.
Richard, yeah.
Sir Richard.
I'm sure Richard had great things to say about that.
We had a very deep discussion on the bans given, or the suspension, I should say, given to Chris Badawi, the owner of Renegades, and, well, I guess now the soon-to-be former owner of Renegades, and the soon-to-be former minority owner of TDK, as well as the trouble that's going on with Copenhagen Wolves, which is its own thing entirely.
Copenhagen Wolves is just like, I'm every tweet I read and every like announcement they make is just driving them deeper into the ground, and they're just gonna come out on the other side and end up in China, and maybe their play will improve.
Turns out everyone hates playing on that team.
Yeah. When the captain
when they say, hey, we're gonna replace every single player so that we can get a super team together because these players aren't good enough, like that kind of does something to your team morale.
Except for the guy you're all working to pay his salary, freeze. So you're all going to work 30 hours a week, 30 hours a month streaming, and part of that work you do is going to go towards your teammate's salary, which is 3 times what yours is, just so you guys know.
Yep.
So
I mean, that organization has always just been a piece of shit. Like,
I mean, they haven't had the money to support, I don't think. I mean, they've organizationally, they haven't been the worst, I think. They've been smart at times with like buying and selling talents and kind of drafting new ones and kind of reloading. It speaks to their inability to fund, I think, a deep run, that they are what they are. And now they have Dig Life coming in with all the investment opportunity, and you have this new opportunity to do things, and you fuck it up like this. You know,
Yep.
You basically tell your players.
This is going all the way back to the whole like Nuke Duck and you know the Dexter and all of that, just ugly business and just
ugly business.
It's been a lot of
all of that was just so poorly mismanaged, and then they like swap out their entire team and the whole ninjas in pajamas and
a lot of poorly done roster changes in general recently. You have
Incarnation?
like you have Nuke Duck and Woolite. You got everything
Although
related to
Incarnation
Copenhagen
was, like,
Wolves.
that was a high stepping down. Right?
Yeah, that wasn't very ugly. That was just like a poor result.
I mean, Cloud9 handles everything well. They handled that very well, actually. The way they transitioned.
Oh, that's what you mean. I thought you meant just like bad.
No, I mean people
just like gross.
vehemently disliking.
Yeah,
Link.
like the whole MIM Corey thing.
Yeah,
was
Link.
Not super great.
The Link 18-page essay about his emotions.
How much he
Everything I hate about CLG.
But you're all great friends.
Dear Diary.
Shout out to Double F. You're a terrible person, but we're still best buddies.
Yeah, that's the double lift. You're an asshole.
Yes, but still be
no offense.
Shout outs to Afram.
That should have been the title of that entire 18-page essay, just like in big bold letters, like no offense, but.
Shout outs to Afram for being the only non-scumbag on CLG.
Oh yeah.
I thought the title would be Double F's an asshole.
And he hated Monte Cristo too.
It's probably too broad though.
He really didn't like.
There's probably too many docs already named that. Double F's an asshole. I mean, I think he's a great player. I like watching his stream actually. He's a lot of fun to watch. Fun guy. He's very legit. I think.
If he was not in North American LCS, it would be much less entertaining.
Yes, that's true. It would be. I would miss his contributions.
And watching European LCS, they need to fix whatever it is that there's like a 3-second delay between things happening in game and the crowd reacting. Have you guys noticed that? It makes like
could not care less.
No, it makes everything
physically
because, like,
could not care less.
In the Fnatic game today, there was an Olaf Dragon Steel, and he stole it with an axe over the wall.
My favorite kind.
And it was like a super hype moment, and like you see him steal the dragon, and then like 3 seconds later, you hear the fans like cheer, and it just ruins the atmosphere. The casting is behind too.
If you're gonna ask for Riot,
no, it's not only the fans though. It's the casting. The casting is like 2 seconds behind, and it just makes Europe feel like less professional.
You know what you should do? email Riot Games and tell them what's going on.
Yeah, because we know how responsive they are to
email their support team.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to ban you for bringing it up.
Probably.
1 year suspension for Steven.
If you're going to suggest for Riot patch notes related to the crowd, can we hire like assassins to kill anyone who claps when a ward is destroyed?
That's pretty. I mean, I think you probably just kick them out of the studio. You probably don't have to kill them.
You could. That's one way to kick them out, though.
We like people with sacks to like kidnap them and throw them out of the.
Yeah. Why do you have to go with kill and kidnap? Why not just like exit the studio?
Because it's not enough.
Okay, that's enough, Keith.
They can clap for wards in the future.
Let's close the show with one more topic here. There's a new champion on the horizon.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm so excited.
The Catfish Man.
Catfish
or
Man.
the Frog Fish.
No, it's Gromp.
Tahm Kench.
The Gromp who has like a long tongue and like an attitude, if you will.
It's Gromp.
He's got the top hat sass.
So if you missed this, and I'm sure you saw some of it, so I don't really have to recap, but his ultimate, for example, is he transports himself and an allied champion to a location, not unlimited range, I don't think, but
they said it was closer to TF range.
It's probably like TF.
Pretty serious range, so it travels pretty well. My immediate thought is you could have like a top lane, or I guess you could play like a Shin, then run TP jungle or mid, and then have Tahm Kench support bottom and like have a 4-man teleport.
I think he's supposed to be
Twist the Fate mid, Shin jungle, run TP on like whoever your top laner is, and have a 5-man TP to some point on the map.
Return of the revenge of the team fight in Steam.
That's the old TSM comp, right? It's like Nocturne TF, Karthus.
There you go.
And then you just play the global comp. They had, like
global presence.
That was banned against TSM for like a year straight.
You got Tahm Kench now, bringing it back. So Tahm Kench,
I'm more excited for him being just able to straight up eat people.
He's got this thing where he doesn't actually like swallow them. He just like mouths them. It's like a weird thing.
The descriptor for the skill literally says "eat." Don't ruin my dream.
But he doesn't.
It's like mouthwash. He just like puts them in and kind of like swishes them around.
It's a good washing.
Gets the taste and then just like.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that one Heroes of Storm character, the Abomination Stitches. He does the same thing. He eats them and like carries them off for a while. So he does a thing where like he takes in damage and converts it to health and overhealing and stuff like that. He could be, I guess, a solo lane, but he looks to me more like a tanky support to help with those.
Yes.
His kit's based for top end support is what I've seen so far.
Kind of the idea.
Scaling though.
The fact that his damage deals his damage scales with health makes him like a potential top alone, like all of his damage, but it doesn't like kick in till level 6. So
I just don't know how much.
Really
I don't know how much like kill potential he has top lane. I don't think he has a lot of damage.
I mean, theoretically, you could eat somebody, bring them under your tower, and then.
That's very situational though.
It's very situational, but it is a situation.
I kind of don't really see like what. I mean, he looks fun. Don't get me wrong, but like, maybe he'll end up being broken, but he just doesn't seem like super viable to me. I don't know.
See, I don't want.
This kid just like doesn't like after Echo. Like Echo comes out, and Echo has like 2.25 second stun.
You're making
Giant
Echo the
shield,
bar for balance.
Slow, goes faster, can fucking turn time backwards, and then you get this other champion who's like. He can eat people, like that's cool. Like I feel like this is Riot's standpoint when they're making champions. It's like, all right, guys, we know we have to sell a whole bunch of champions. So there's 2 ways to do that. One, we can make them actually fun and entertaining and cool, and people will like them, and then they'll buy them. Like Bard, he was really cool and fun and like unique. Or we can just make them stupidly broken and OP, and then everyone will have to buy them. Otherwise, they can't play ranked games. And like. They're alternating them now. It was like Brand. He's like the very fun, like awesome. He has like cool.
Oh, Brand, very unique character.
No. I love Brand.
Did I say Brand? Oh,
yeah.
Bard. Sorry, Bard. Yeah, it's like Bard is like super fun, and then Echo is like super broken. So now they have the fun champ. So the next champ will be like Irelia 3.0.
Echo is fun for someone. I think Zion Spartan likes him. Right.
Makes him look balanced too.
Yeah, I don't even know if it makes him look balanced, like unbalanced, but like a bad way, imbalanced.
Kind of like
imbalanced,
like Azure and Incarnation's hands.
Incarnation. Good luck to you, my friend. I wish you all the best.
I think they're gonna go 2-0 this week. See you guys on Monday. You can bring me
you got a free one there, didn't you? With TDK, that's a big prediction when they.
I think they'll go 1-0 in their one game this week.
When they play TDK, like you have kind of a free space.
If Cloud9 goes 2-0,
you get a free middle space. TDK is the middle space. It's free.
If Cloud9 goes 2-0, I will hand you money on stream.
Cool.
Yeah, like a penny probably. It was a very broad gesture there, but
what's important is the gesture.
Tune in next week on the loadout to find out what's going to happen. We're taking a break on Monday, but we'll be back on Tuesday. So if you like the show, follow the channel. Find us at daily.esports on YouTube, .esports on Facebook and Twitter. And if you missed part of the show, past broadcasts, just down there.
Actually, it's like up to
It's
the
like
right.
up. Yeah.
You have to click the
There are
picture.
the buttons in the...
Somewhere.
No, you have to click the picture to go to the profile, and then you click the tab for
Past broadcast, following internet browser options.
Hey, we have a
around me.
SoundCloud now, too.
SoundCloud, podcast, hey.
You can...
Just spin your cursor around the Twitch window and click violently until you reach past broadcast.
Just Google Daily Dot and then go from there. What could go wrong, you know? That's it for the show today. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks for watching.